ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਦੇ ਮੇਅਰ ਜੋਹਨ ਟੋਰੀ ਨੇ ਸਟਾਫ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਹਾਊਸਿੰਗ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਪਲਾਨ ਦਾ ਸਟਰਕਚਰ ਤਿਆਰ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਮੌਜੂਦਾ ਜ਼ੋਨਿੰਗ ਨਿਯਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਹੱਤਵਪੂਰਨ ਤਬਦੀਲੀਆਂ ਲਿਆ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਰੇ ਰਿਹਾਇਸ਼ੀ ਸਥਾਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਮਲਟੀਪਲੈਕਸਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਗਿਆ ਦੇਣਾ ਅਤੇ ਅਖੌਤੀ ਬੇਦਖਲੀ ਜ਼ੋਨਿੰਗ ਨੀਤੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਖਤਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਸ਼ਾਮਲ ਹੈ। ਟੋਰੀ ਸਟਾਫ ਨੂੰ ਪੋਰਟਲੈਂਡਸ ਅਤੇ ਵਾਟਰਫਰੰਟ ਲਈ ਯੋਜਨਾਵਾਂ ਤੇ ਮੁੜ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਜੋ ਹਾਊਸਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਘਣਤਾ ਨੂੰ ਅਨੁਕੂਲ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਸਕੇ।
In order to move forward more aggressively. The Housing Action Plan begins the process of updating the city's regulations so that we can meet or exceed the target of building 285,000 homes over the next decade that are set out in some of the recent provincial initiatives. This plan represents all aspects of the housing spectrum, from student housing to affordable housing to housing targets for the portlands and for the waterfront. Importantly, this plan will bring the city into the 21st century by removing the exclusionary zoning that has focused growth in just a few areas of the city and prevented Torontonians from having a variety of housing choices. And I spoke extensively about this during the election campaign, that we simply had to broaden out the range of housing options that were available to people who wanted to make their lives here, people who were young and older, people who wanted to grow up in the same neighbourhood, for example, that they wanted to live in the same neighbourhood they'd grown up in, or seniors who want to stay in the same neighbourhood in which they've spent most of their lives. And that is why, at our first meeting and as the first item of business of the new City Council, I'm asking Council colleagues to direct the City Manager to develop this 2023 Housing Action Plan for the period between 2022 and 2026, which is our term in office, and to bring the updated plan back in a very short time, namely before the winter's over. The City Manager would report to the Executive Committee no later than March on how this plan will be actioned, with clear timelines for Council approval, implementation, and the potential units that will be created. Separate from this plan, but also in the same report, I'm asking Council colleagues to approve the multi-tenant housing bylaw, which was deferred earlier this year. By approving regulations for multi-tenant housing, we can ensure that those who already live in these types of units, often our lowest income residents, can be protected, can be kept safe, and that we can regulate activity already taking place across the city, which is presently unregulated and is the source of many legitimate complaints to members of council and to the public service through 311 and otherwise. The source of many legitimate complaints that will be addressed by regulating and by legalizing these forms of accommodation. This measure that will be brought to the City Council next week through this report has been through the full public consultation and staff reporting process and was in fact deferred at the last meeting of the previous council. And so it is ready to come forward directly to council for debate and for a vote, and this report will achieve that.
चिंता ना करो, तुहाडी किस्मत जाग रही है। चमत्कार नूं नमस्कार। मियाँ तालिब जी, स्पैशलिस्ट वशीकरण, मुठकरनी, लव मैरिज, कोर्ट केस ते कीता कराया, इमीडिएटली 101% रिजल्ट्स। साडे काले इलम दी काट साडे कोल। समस्या तुहाडी, समाधान साडा। हर समस्या दा समाधान पाओ सिर्फ 5 घंटियां विच। हर पासियों निराश एक बार जरूर कॉल करो। कॉल नाउ 9876786067। सब तो पहला काम करन दा पक्का वादा। लव मैरिज, घर कलेश, कारोबार, घर दी शांति, नौकरी, सौतन दुश्मन तो छुटकारा, विदेश यात्रा च रुकावट, हर काम गारंटी नाल कीता जाता है। दुनिया दे सारे मौलवी, ज्योतिष, तांत्रिक नूं अजमा चुके हो तां एक बार जरूर फोन करो 9876786067।